Quando a gente pensa em Nova York, o primeiro lugar que vem à mente é Manhattan. Mas a gente não pode subestimar o Brooklyn, que é um lugar enorme. Na verdade, se o Brooklyn fosse uma cidade, seria a quarta maior cidade dos Estados Unidos. Eu diria que uma das comunidades mais associadas ao Brooklyn, principalmente a essa região onde eu estou agora, Williamsburg, é a comunidade dos judeus ortodoxos. Aqui, eles vivem com outras comunidades também, como as comunidades dos jamaicanos, dos negros e até dos hipsters, um grupo de descolados que ficou muito associado a essa parte do Brooklyn. Tô com fome. Pickled potatoes, knish and pastrami. Esse lugar está aqui desde 1962, é uma das delis mais tradicionais do Brooklyn. Muito bom. Eu me mudei para Nova York em 1999, ou seja, mais de 2 décadas atrás. E de lá para cá eu conheci muita gente, explorei muitas tribos, conheci muitas comunidades, mas uma comunidade sempre me pareceu impenetrável. Nova York é uma cidade de mais ou menos 8 milhões de pessoas. 1,5 milhão são judeus. E desses judeus, 1/3 se considera judeu ortodoxo, que é uma vertente mais conservadora da religião. Não é fácil entender, mergulhar nessa realidade, mas é para isso que eu tô aqui. What should I have this with? Pastrami?
No, it's not it's milk.
Eu perguntei se eu podia comer esse roll com pastrami. Ele falou que não, porque você não pode misturar o pastrami com leite. Isso aqui leva leite. Aí ele sugeriu um atum com ovo. Eu tô achando meio suspeito. Só que eu vou levar pra casa, porque eu tô achando que a minha manteiga tá melhor que o atum com ovo dele. Começa de trás para frente. Tá vendo? Essa é a capa, essa é a contracapa. Tem um furo. Acho que é um instrumento. This is to play, right? This isn't a cup. It's to play. Yes.
Yeah.
What's the name in Yiddish?
Yiddish, Scheufel.
Scheufel. Scheufel. Okay. Thank you.
It's a beautiful day to soak up the rays and let the sun shine the way. Little work, little play, I'm gonna slay today, and nothing can stand in my way. We're all just here in the same grind, trying to get by.
Look at that. Hasidic graffiti.
That's a little bit hipster.
Yeah.
Street art.
Yeah. See that graffiti over there?
Yes.
So you had a lot of hipsters moving into the community here in Williamsburg, but there was a lot of tension, as you can imagine. But I noticed there was one thing that united us, Hasid and hipsters, the facial hair, the beard. So I made an event called Unite the Beards. We made a logo, half the face was Hasidic, half the face was hipster, and we gave out t-shirts with that logo, and on the back it said, open your mind. Hasid and hipster, not as different as you think. And then once I started that thing, I started, hey, let's open up the doors of our community. Before I know it, people from all around the world, instead of going to Ellis Island and Statue of Liberty, they were coming behind the usually very closed doors of Hasidic Brooklyn.
Uma das únicas maneiras de realmente conhecer essa vizinhança é sendo convidado por um membro da comunidade racídica. No meu caso, eu tive a sorte de conhecer o Yoni, um rabino respeitado no mundo todo e, aos 42 anos, pai de 8 filhos.
Welcome to the Hasidic Hat Store. Is he a bar mitzvah boy?
He's 13.
He's 13. So when I was 13, it's a big thrill. You get to come here and you get to wear one of these black hats.
You get to hang out with Mr. Rodder.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Sometimes I don't even need a hat. I'll come in and buy one anyway.
Just to hang out with Mr. Rodder. I'm so curious to see how you would look in a hat.
All right.
You want to try it on?
Let's do it.
Oh my God, look at that. Any questions for the rabbi? Okay.
It's official. I look good in
Yeah, we have the conversion papers in the back.
Dos grandes desafios da cultura ultra-ortodoxa é acompanhar a evolução da sociedade sem perder o próprio DNA. O Shlomi é uma figura conhecida aqui no Brooklyn que conseguiu usar a tecnologia a seu favor. Por via do seu canal do YouTube e das suas redes sociais, ele se comunica com judeus mundo afora. Quando eu liguei para ele, ele sugeriu que a gente se encontrasse na primeira pizzaria kosher de Nova York.
Tell me about this place. What should I eat?
So you definitely have to try the pizza. It's some of the best kosher pizza in the world and a landmark in Borough Park and in Brooklyn. This place has been open since the 60s. Probably the first kosher pizza shop in Brooklyn, something like that. So
Are you gonna have a slice with me?
definitely.
You
You get one mushroom onion, okay? Thank you very much.
Eu pedi de cogumelo, champignon, e ele pediu de cogumelo com cebola. Cogumelo, champignon, champignon, cogumelo. First, I'm gonna try the pizza.
Okay, go for it.
Kosher.
Yes.
The crust is really good. So just to contextualize a little bit, first things first. Explain to me your diet, kosher food. I swear I've tried to read about it, but I have a hard time understanding exactly why you can't, for example, have meat with milk.
Right, so we have this idea. God created the world, and His word was true, it is true, and it will remain true. It doesn't change.
Okay.
Therefore, God gave us the Torah with 613 commandments. This is our book that we live by. One of the commandments says, do not eat a goat in its mother's milk. There's no logical explanation for this. This is something that God said, and we listen. Most of the commandments that we have in our book actually have explanations that can be understood, the rational explanations. This is one of them. In Hebrew, it's called a chok. It means it's a law, that's the way it is. It's simply, this is what He said, and this is what we do.
This explains a lot of other aspects of the religion, at least looking from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
Is that the same reason why women dress modestly?
No.
It's not.
No.
Why do you dress the way you do? Why does your wife dress the way she does?
Okay, so I dress the way I do because it's similar to the dress that my great-grandparents wore in Europe in the 1900s and the 1800s. It's not specifically a law that the Torah says you have to dress this way, but it's a custom that we like to continue. I think it helps children understand where we're from. It's sort of part of the tradition.
We wear silk on Shabbos, on Saturday. Silk is a holy thing. Why do we wear these long jackets? The monarchs in the 1800s, the noble wore these long jackets and to be nice and fancy. The Jews wanted to be fancy, so what's fancy is a long jacket. So us Hasidim today, we're just copying our grandfathers, great-grandfathers, just kind of just
Paying homage to them.
yeah.
It's really
That's a sharp look, you know.
Now, women's modesty is a whole separate issue.
Okay.
In today's world, there's a lot of talk about things are changing, men and women are completely the same. I believe that men and women are different. And I know this is a controversial topic. So, according to the laws of human nature, the male drive to seek out a female is usually a lot stronger than the other way around. Therefore, women dress modestly as a way to keep their physicality more private and toned down.
Yeah.
For example, I would not shake a hand with a woman. There's nothing personal. It's just that my relationship with my wife is very, very special. So the only woman who I'm going to touch is my wife, my mother, my grandmother, my sister, my daughter. The Hasidic community generally you won't see mingling between men and women. a lot of people in the community will meet for a couple hours and then they get engaged. Some people will meet for as little as 15 minutes. Now that may sound crazy, but what happens before that, prior to this meeting, is that the parents will talk between each other and they'll do a lot of research. And then once they decide that they really feel this could work, they'll allow the children to meet and then they'll get married. This is the way a lot of people do it. Having said that, and there are people in the community who feel that this is an outdated system, and we are seeing more and more people starting to date a little bit less traditionally. So you have to understand, we're stuck in this place of trying to maintain old traditions. At the same time, we do realize we're living in 2021 in New York City, and some things do get modernized. That's just the way life works.
Picture of the Rabbi with you is very good for good luck, success. When you look at the picture, the Rabbi is with you. It's a very holy picture. So
Yeah. Would have a lot of respect. There are traumas that your community has gone through that I'll never be able to grasp. Probably the most horrific thing I've learned about in school. How much is that attached to this desire to grow your community, not by converting people, but by having children?
Sure. So the Torah has 613 commandments, as I mentioned. The very first commandment, God says, be fruitful and multiply. So it has nothing to do with trauma.
Got it.
Having said that, after the Holocaust, and many people called it a revenge against Hitler. He wanted to destroy us, and now we're here and we're having children.
How does it make you feel to see a surge in anti-Semitism nowadays in a country like America, for example?
So anti-Semitism has always been ugly, always been frightening. That's one of the reasons why we sort of lay low. This is part of what happens. This is how a community becomes closed in. At the same time, I believe that getting to know the outside communities and having them get to know us can minimize anti-Semitism. They say you cannot hate what you don't know.
Yeah.
A verdade é que a vida não anda fácil para os racídicos. A polarização política e o discurso preconceituoso de alguns líderes foram, em parte, responsáveis por um aumento radical do antissemitismo. Só em 2020, mais de 2.000 ataques à comunidade judaica foram registrados aqui nos Estados Unidos. Poucos locais representam essa resistência religiosa com tanta clareza quanto o 770.
Welcome to 770 Eastern Parkway, the world's most famous synagogue. Have you ever been inside a Hasidic synagogue before?
I have not.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
When the movement came here in 1940, escaped Nazi Germany and Poland, and they had to reestablish Hasidic life. So it all started off in this small room, and then you'll see as the movement expanded over the years, they had to expand into a much bigger synagogue.
when I was a child, I was born in 47.
Wow.
So I remember this synagogue when it first came out in the 50s, early 50s. I was a little boy running around. Only a few boys then was after the war, and not many survivors. So we were a small group of boys.
How much of the life you guys live today is authentic to its roots, and how much evolved since 1940, since this place started?
We embrace technology here because we view any means of technology as a way of connecting and spreading the good word and about purpose and uniting the world. So it's pretty much very strong to its roots, but obviously there's certain elements which have evolved, primarily in the technological range. This is one of the coolest rooms in this building. It's called WLCC, which stands for World Lubavitch Communication Center.
Okay.
And basically when the Lubavitch Rebbe, the leader of the movement, spoke in the 1970s, people around the world, including Brazil, wanted to hear what the Rebbe was saying, but we didn't have Facebook or WhatsApp in those days. So a young Israeli boy started tinkering with a few wires, a few safety pins and some duct tape, and he created this masterpiece. Here is the rabbi himself,
Wow.
Rabbi Chaim Baruch Halberstam, and he'll show you
What
around.
an honor.
Thank you.
through telephones, people had hookups and they were able to listen live.
Coming from someone who is awful with technology, I'm in awe of your skills.
The Torah teaches us to use our head logically. And once you had things logically, everything is possible.
Look, and here he is. This is a picture taken back. This one's in 1977. There's the rabbi sitting in the same chair. He hasn't moved in almost 50 years.
You look even more handsome now.
Well, they tell me that I used to be young and beautiful. Today I'm just beautiful.
That's wonderful. So nice to meet you.
Spread goodness and kindness.
I will. I won't forget you.
Keep it up.
É difícil descrever esse lugar. E olha que geralmente eu não tenho esse tipo de problema. Mas é peculiar, é único, é autêntico e é relevante, é importante, né? Você pensa em lugares como o Vaticano, como Meca, para os judeus racídicos, esse é o lugar mais sagrado no mundo. Every religion has, a place that is considered the epicenter of that community. Why is a place like this so crucial for your religion?
This is where it all came from. This is where it happened. People come here, they feel it.
It's mind-blowing. It's amazing.
The heartbeat of the Jewish world.
Yeah.
Lubavitcher Rabbi King Messiah give to you power to bring the redemption.
We're actually taught in the holy books that kedusha leizazam imkaima, that holiness never leaves a place. This is where the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the most famous, popular Jewish leader of the 20th century, for decades sat here and taught us this philosophy about going out to the world and spreading through acts of goodness and kindness and uniting and welcoming people. So once it happened here, that shows that this place now became a beacon of light because there's holiness in this room.
Eu estou aqui em Crown Heights, no Brooklyn, um bairro com grande concentração de jamaicanos, negros e judeus ortodoxos. E estou prestes a conhecer uma pessoa que é a personificação dessa mistura. Mayan.
Oh, hi.
Pedro, nice to meet you. How's it going?
I'm good.
Acabei de me apresentar a Mayan. Eu notei que a gente não aperta a mão, né? A gente fala com uma certa distância. Explain to me how did Judaism come into your life? At what point? What's your earliest memory of even knowing what that was?
So, my grandmother would always read the Bible to us as a bedtime story thing, and then I'd always considered the Old Testament like, oh, this is history, like that really happened, like, because it felt real to me. And then, like, when I'd get to the New Testament, I'd be like, story time. So I'd read lots of books about it beforehand because I didn't want to just jump into it. I wanted to really make sure that it's right for me. I was like, I do like these rules. I do like these things for myself and as a guide of how to live my life and process existential dread and and all of that sort of thing.
Anybody can become Jewish as long as they're doing it from a sincere place. They're called a ger tzedek, a righteous convert. And then you're as Jewish as anyone. And even more, when you convert, you get even more respect because you had a more difficult journey. I was born Jewish. There's nothing I can do about it.
One for you, one for a friend.
Thank you very much.
One for you, one for a friend.
Is there resentment if someone abandons this community? Can they come back? Can they wake up and come back?
Contrary to public opinion, at least here, there's no leaving the community. There's no like, you didn't do something right and now you're shunned or ostracized. When you're part of your family, it's my family's. So can you leave your family? Can a child divorce their parent? No, they're my parents. So we would never cast somebody out. We would never say you're not welcome.
I see.
You're mine.
What did your friends and family think when you told them, I'm making this decision is made, I'm changing my life?
Yeah, so my mom was like, okay, as long as you follow the 10 Commandments and the laws of the land and, watch out for all the other crazy people, you're good. She's like, okay, even though I wear pants, like, I'll wear skirts in your house, and be modest and all that jazz.
Define to me what modest is. Like, why can't married women show their hair?
It was explained to me, like, when I got married, there's like a godly energy.
Yeah.
Even during the wedding, the bride's face is covered to kind of protect that godly energy.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she takes off the veil, the cover, it kind of like goes to the hair and rests there. And also it's more about the roots than it is about the rest of the hair and
Mm-hmm.
covering that. So the idea is that you're not drawing attention to yourself.
Hi, very nice to meet you.
Likewise, welcome in.
I'm Pedro. Wow.
First time in a wig shop?
It is.
Welcome, welcome.
A woman starts wearing wigs when she gets married.
Right.
Correct? What is it like dealing with people at such a special moment of their lives?
And every woman that I work on, every bride I work on, I know how symbolic it is and how important it is. We're covering our own hair, which is beautiful, but we find the most beautiful wigs that make it look even more beautiful. Hasidic women want to look great, and as you've probably seen in the streets, women look really good. Just in Judaism, we have rules that we go by. So cover your elbows, cover your knees, cover your collarbone, but with the most beautiful clothing that you can find.
When it comes to the nuances and the subtleties of the choice of the wig, does it matter if it's a shorter wig, if it's more ostentatious, like head of hair?
So there's no rules on color, length, or style. It's the concept of covering your hair for modesty. But we believe like beauty and modesty is not a contradiction. So you can wear whatever you like. For example, for myself today, I just wanted to wear a long piece, so I'm wearing a long one. You can choose what you want. It's like shoes. You can own as many as you'd like, as many as you can buy.
Are wigs as expensive as shoes?
They're way more. Well, depends what kind of shoes you wear, I guess.
Were you embraced by this community right off the bat?
So it was a little bit of a mixed experience, but I did meet with animosity at some point. A person said, oh, you should go check out the Hanukkah menorah in the synagogue. It's a huge menorah. You should definitely check it out since you're like new to the neighborhood and all that sort of thing. It's really awesome. So I think I went at night and went in, and then all of a sudden there are these two Jewish women, and they're like, what are you doing here? What are you doing? And they're just yelling at me, and I'm like, well, I'm just looking around. And they're like, you don't belong here, get out of here. You should, we're gonna call the police. And they're yelling all of this stuff at me, and I'm like, so they chased me out of the synagogue and spat after me and the whole thing, and I was just appalled by this behavior. I'm like, I'm in New York. This shouldn't be happening. What is this? And so friends were like, no, you belong there too. Those ladies are probably not right in the head. Like there's probably something off with them. You belong in that space as much as anyone else.
Was it the lack of willingness to accept someone new, or was it plain racism?
I like at the time I was like, whoa. How racist, yeah. But now thinking back on it, I think it was more just a panic. It's like, oh, well, who is this black person? Why are they in my space? I don't recognize them as belonging to the space. So I guess it's really more from fear of other than necessarily being a straight off racist. When I hear people say the things that they're saying, I think it comes from a place of ignorance and that they don't know like the different backgrounds of trauma. Like I think that for the Jewish community in regards to like racism towards the Black community, I think when they do stuff like that, they're not aware of the historical backgrounds of racism in the country because it's not something that they focus on when they're learning in school. The emphasis in the school is like Torah and basic skills to earn a living, not necessarily the history of this country. Or the history of the various different cultures within this country. So it's not known, and I think if people knew about each other's or each community's generational traumas, then they might be able to kind of find common ground and go, oh, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I get that, that's fine.
Deus é grande.
Deus é grande.
Deus é todo poderoso. Tudo isso. Você ouve isso, say amen. This is a Rachel, our new bride. Neighbors.
Brasileira?
Sim.
Muito prazer, eu sou o Pedro. Então você agora vai se casar.
Graças a Deus, a gente se conheceu e estamos para casar, graças a Deus.
Foi amor à primeira vista?
A gente saiu aqui, né? Aqui tem um processo na conselho. A gente sai algumas vezes, mas até que
Entendi.
cria uma conexão e graças a Deus, vamos casar.
Entendi. Você ainda não é mãe?
Ainda não, ainda não.
A lot of people believe that the female, the woman's role in your religion is a really oppressed one.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
No.
Why?
I wouldn't place myself in an oppressive place. There's a lot of text to back up the strength of the matriarch, the woman in Judaism. Like for instance, like who's a Jew? It goes through the mother. It's not decided by the father. And there's also like texts that are like, like even Abraham is trying to make a decision with Sarah about. Sarah says, get rid of Ishmael, and Abraham's like, well, this is my son, this is my child. What do I do? And God says, listen to your wife. Your wife knows what to do. So it's not just like, oh, just stay home and make babies.
How many kids do you have?
So we have 4, 2 boys, 2 girls.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's my question.
Yeah.
If one of them decide not to follow Judaism, how would you feel about that?
So I've thought about this a little bit, and I thought to myself, like my mom gave me the space to be who I am and to observe my life as I'd like to observe it. So I can't stop them, really. It's their life, it's their choice. I'd hope that they'd stay in whatever I've like put myself into and served for them, but at the end of the day, it's really up to them.
Uma das grandes lições que eu aprendi viajando foi que há maneiras de você se comunicar, de você se conectar com outras pessoas que não passam pelo aspecto verbal. Uma das mais fortes é por via da arte, por via da música, para ser mais específico. Por isso, eu vim conhecer 2 músicos que fazem parte de uma banda chamada Zusha.
You guys communicate through a nonverbal language as well, you know, like music really transcends all that. How did you guys fall in love with music?
We grew up in a musical family. So my parents each played an instrument. My mother played piano. My father played violin. They wanted each of their children to have a background in some instrument so that it would just give them more culture, more broaden their outlet. Parents are big on music being a healthy outlet.
Like, I don't know if I'd wish this life on my kids, because it's very difficult. You don't know what it's going to be at the end of the day, music. It's something that has to be your passion. It's something that has to, you'll do it every day, because every day that you get to play music is, you've achieved your goals. And it's a blessing to like be a part of that. So I grew up playing music, and it's like this magnet that just keeps pulling back at you no matter where you are in life, that music is something that your soul just needs to do. It's like you don't have so much of a choice.
This is an instrument we haven't played for a long. It's actually been sitting there since we got married. Now.
We actually used to both have one, and he lost his.
You lost this?
Yeah, how do you lose that?
I mean, you guys work on something that I believe has a lot of healing power as well. Like how to own that legacy and that essence and that DNA and respect those traumas, but also heal them. Does your music, not just your music, but the music of your community, of your ancestors, do you feel like it has that power?
The wealthy, the poor, there's no difference when everyone sings together. You can't, by someone's voice, you can't tell how much money they have in their bank account or how much they don't. You can't tell who has power, who doesn't. You can't tell who's struggling, who's not. You can't tell who's successful, who's not. So music has this unifying quality where those labels go out the window and hearts open and communities develop and grow and unify and emulsify.
Your community seemed impenetrable to a lot of people, even in a place that's as culturally rich as Brooklyn. And now, all of a sudden, we have you guys, you know, and I'm like listening to your music, and your music is deeply touching me through the internet. And you pack, you know, your shows attract people of all walks of life. Do you think that this evolution is undeniable, that there is an openness that is here now that maybe wasn't here decades ago?
Yes, there's been a change, there's been a shift. My grandparents, two of them came from Germany. One of them was in Auschwitz in the Holocaust. And they're coming to America. They're definitely not excited to meet anyone outside of their immediate clique. They don't have trust for people. And my grandparents, all of them got kicked out of where they lived, and they came here and they raised a family. So my parents are like sort of in this in-between zone of they haven't really experienced anti-Semitism themselves to that degree, but they also were raised by Holocaust survivors. So I think our generation, like mine and Shlomo, who's it's like the third generation removed from really horrific experiences. And not to say things don't happen nowadays, but I do think that there's been a change, and not just to the outside community, but inside our community as well. How we view people that aren't religious, how we view people like, you know, how parents treat kids that don't want to keep Shabbos, for example. They don't want to keep the Sabbath, they don't want to keep the kosher laws. It used to be like they would be cut off, and that would be it. But I think that there's been a real push to find the good points in every single person. I'm not saying that you walk into any synagogue and they'll be like, hey, come on over, but you will find those people that can bring you in and put everyone's alarm down a little bit and like bring out that trust.
How do you know when two people are meant for each other?
I think a lot of it is like just intuition. I don't think you could really, you know, put it on paper. I believe that marriage is really the fundamental part of everyone's lives, and happy marriages are the best.
A importância que eles dão para a comunidade é uma coisa que eu achei que eu tivesse preparado para isso, mas eu não estava. Eu acho que é fácil julgar, mas se eu aprendi alguma coisa viajando o mundo, passeando entre mundos, é que encontrar o que a gente tem em comum é mais difícil, porém muito mais interessante, muito mais valioso que encontrar aquilo que a gente tem de diferente. E é muito óbvio o que a gente tem de diferente aqui, mas é muito precioso o que a gente tem em comum.
That's the whole purpose of life. Going beyond the dress, going beyond the food, going beyond the music, going beyond the culture. That's really irrelevant. It's us, like what's happening right now.
You know, we kind of have to balance our holiness and our holy life with the rest of the world and relate to them in some manner without losing ourselves.
Whatever I can do to make the world a better place using old wisdom and new methods, let's make a beautiful mix of all this stuff. And if we work together, we communicate, we can make the world a much better place. We can spread kindness and happiness and love and peace and unity. And there's a lot to do.
One of the things that I have to say I've been mesmerized about is how welcomed I've been in this community. I've been living in New York for 20 years, and the past few days have been really life-changing and fascinating and eye-opening. And I'd say the one thing that really I'll never forget is how gratuitously everyone has treated me. So thank you all so much. I know that you didn't expect me to be here. You came to see them. É isso. Simples assim.
You read the Bible, you read the prophets, you're entering the world of that story, of that narrative. It's its own world. And it's a world that maybe it once was, but we don't see it today. But you can travel back in time to that place as it was in all the thought processes and what this person was saying, that person was saying, who was right, who was wrong. It's for you to figure out, but it's like...
I love that. I always say that traveling is a lot more than going from point A to point B, and I think you can travel having a conversation.
Exactly.
You can travel going across the street and being curious. You can travel, you know, listening to our conversation. You know, it's a different sort of trip, but all you need is, I think, an open mind, curiosity, I guess. Yeah. Books can definitely do that.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating point.